The doors blew open like a storm found a hallway. Logan Stone's voice hit first. "What the hell are you doing with my father?" And for a second, the whole house forgot how to breathe. I had Henry Stone's weight sagging into my arms, his knees giving out, my hands locked under his ribs, just to keep him from greeting the marble with his face from the doorway. It probably looked like an embrace from where I stood. It was a fight with gravity. I slid him into the chair, still shaking, and Logan laughed once. "Isn't it? You throw yourself at a weak old man and hope the son signs the checks classy." "Yeah, that happened." The butler hovered, the housekeeper gasped. Whispers. "Did what whispers do?" I said. "The small, true thing. It isn't what you think," and he shot back. "You're done here, pack your things, step one. Of humiliation is always public, you know what I mean." I kept it together until the guest room folded. The bleached shirt rolled. The 3 pairs of good socks stared at a photo of my mom in our Bridgewater yard. Where the dandelions always win, I needed the job, sure, but I needed my name more. Then Henry came down in his chair, eyes bright, breath thin, and said, "Can't trust a tantrum to tell the whole story, can we?" He held up a new rehab routine like a flag I didn't know I needed. "He's afraid," he said, when I wouldn't take the page, of what I asked, of what he saw, and how it made him feel. I wanted to forgive him on the spot. I wasn't that holy, so I decided to leave anyway. Morning comes different in a house like that, quieter, like money buys silence by the yard. I was letting chamomile go cold when Logan showed up, suit, sharp, apology, sharper. "I judged you," he said. "Fear did the talking. Fear of what I asked. Losing control, watching my father depend on someone who isn't me. Someone I didn't vet." He actually said vet, like I was a contractor. I lifted my bag. "I appreciate the apology. I'm still leaving." He swallowed the pride he sleeps on and said, "Before you do, there's something you should see." He took me to a locked room in the old nursery wing. Not toys, screens. Pulled up footage there. I was counting off steps, palm ready at Henry's shoulder. The slip, the catch, the angle that made sense of everything. Then, the moment he'd barged in from this view, it wasn't a scandal. It was physics and care. He killed the screen. I jumped to conclusions. Didn't look, didn't ask. I want to make it right. Clear my name in front of the people who watched me get dragged. Say it plain. I told him he did, stood at that long table and said, "Lena acted with integrity, and I failed both of them. If you've got a problem, it's yours, not hers." You could feel the air loosen its jaw. He didn't tuck me away. He pulled me forward. Director of Personal Rehabilitation and Senior Care titles don't push wheelchairs, so I asked for time budget. And one more thing. Let Henry do what he dreamed of before the stroke turned the ignored East Lot into a community plot. Harbor patch fog on the ground, day 1 boots. Wet the gate, steady with strangers who felt like neighbors by lunch. Earl with the road, gravel voice, 2 church ladies with muffins and 4 opinions, teens with laces that could trip a horse. We planted seeds and jokes and a reason to come back for a minute. It felt like sunlight might outrun the past. Then Victor Cross rolled in linen suit cologne with a trust fund, big check, bigger smile, wanted naming rights. Photo ops control, I told him no. With a polite grin that still meant no, he smiled like a shark. Within a week, an article bloomed where truth should be. Garden director has criminal past. They dug up a sealed juvenile case like it was fresh gossip. Years back, my brother stole meds for our mama and panicked. I took the weight probation work. Keep moving. I thought it died on the Vine scandal, never composts, it only waits. Logan called a press conference. I asked to speak for myself, stood on the lawn and said I was 19. I paid my debt. People don't need perfect heroes. They need honest ones. Not everybody clapped, but real people looked me in the eye. You know what I mean. The greenhouse fire came before the smoke even made sense. Plastic and wood make a smell that sticks to your throat. Firefighters did their part, the marshal said. Accelerant, my gut, said Victor. We swept ash, planted again. A kid sprayed me with the hose and I laughed from somewhere that isn't armor. Next move was a raid. Misuse of funds. Nothing to find but headlines. Don't care, noise leaves residue, so. Henry put on a gray cardigan, rolled into a charity dinner and said, If you attack Lena, you attack me. The room stood up like church, and for once I felt like the ground under me wasn't moving. I still went to the county archives because paper doesn't lie the way people do. A clerk named Carol, with hair like silver smoke, pulled maps from 1986 and 2001 red X on the very lot. We farmed, turns out. Victor tried to sneak a biotech facility in there years ago. Henry blocked it on environmental grounds. Victor lost millions and never forgave the dirt. Now motive had a spine. The council set a hearing. The developer's lawyer praised progress like it was a god. I held up a tomato, told them this used to be broken glass, and now it feeds kids and calms a man whose legs forgot him. You're not voting on dirt. You're voting on who this city belongs to. The vote went our way by just enough to breathe. The smear came back meaner, an unsigned draft of a will, hinting Henry might leave me a piece. I didn't ask for a dime. But suspicion doesn't need facts. It needs a whiff. That's when Sable Hart, Victor's fixer, showed up outside the garden office at 9 p.m. Crisp blazer, calm eyes. Take a sabbatical, you'll be compensated, disappear quietly. I told her that garden was built by hands that have buried children and held grandbabies. We don't scare easy. She left a shadow behind that felt like a clock. Then we found an inside leak. I hated doing it, but I fed 3 different rumors to 3 different volunteers and waited to see which lie walked out the gate. It traced back to Carla. Sweet kid, shaky voice. Manipulated by a man calling himself Bishop, promised she was protecting people. When I confronted her, she shook like a leaf. I didn't throw her out. I gave her more work and a longer rope to hold onto. Trust repairs holes better than fire. The crack we needed came from Victor's side. A compliance officer named Evan Marsh walked in with a briefcase and a conscience emails logs and a grainy clip where Victor's voice was clean. Use the girl, use the will, burn the rest. That line sat in the room like a confession. We lawyered up with Naomi Ortega, whose eyebrows could cross-examine, filed for an injunction, stood on courthouse steps with receipts instead of slogans. For once the cameras wanted truth as badly as blood. The judge froze Victor's permits. A week later, the council stamped Harbor Patch as a protected landmark. Victor tried the classic move. Blame rogue staff, toss Sable. But people had seen too much to pretend it made sense. Even a national op-ed said something about seeds pushing through cracks. I stuck that one on the fridge with a strawberry magnet and let myself smile. Henry faded like evening does. Slowly, then suddenly you realize you need a lamp. In his last week, we sat in the reflection corner we built. Rosemary, breathing his hand in mine. Sometimes he'd drop a line that felt carved. Legacy isn't what you leave behind, it's what you grow while you're here. He passed at sunrise, soft and stubborn. We buried him with seeds, no suits folks, planted herbs and stories. Logan cried like a son, not a headline. And somewhere between the soil and the sky, I forgave a lot. I didn't think I could grief and gratitude hold hands better than I expected. You want a neat ending? I can't sell you one. What I can tell you is, Logan started showing up with sleeves rolled, forgetting his phone at the gate, offering to expand Harbor Patch into an after-school program and a veterans horticulture circle. I said yes with 2 conditions: no performative plaques And no pretending this is ours alone. He said, "You always ask for the hard things," I said. Not hard, just right. Victor didn't vanish. Men like him pivot some nights. A car idles across the street, a little too long sometimes. A rumor drifts by, smelling like his cologne. But power can buy time and ink, and even silence it can't buy roots, and roots are patient. They split concrete a molecule at a time. The way back for me wasn't bravery. It was showing up on smoke days, on headline days, on apology days, and the days you should get one and don't show up, plant something, water. It when the forecast laughs, the good ones come closer. The bad ones get loud and slowly. Sunlight works. So tell me, was Logan's first explosion just a sun losing it, or a line you never cross? Does a sealed mistake mean you sit out the future, or do second chances belong to the people who show their work? Have you watched a neighborhood beat a developer with deeper pockets, or did it go the other way? On your block, drop your take in the comments. Tell me where you're watching from, what you've seen with your own eyes, and what justice looks like when nobody's filming. If you've ever been misjudged and clawed your way back into your own story, write the one word that kept you going. Mine stayed the same the whole time. Roots.